Guys, where this will end, it's only God that knows. Remember, the Sporting Lisbon president called in for what we call a clear the air talks with Viktor Gyokeres and his agent, and Gyokeres was like, no, I'm not obviously gonna be listening to you. All I want is you to let me go. You understand? Now, the president has come out and issued other statements that are really very, very direct. And Arsenal fans, this is what you should obviously look at. The president of Sporting Lisbon has come out and obviously issued a second statement. In the space of like 2 weeks, he has come out and spoken about Viktor Gyokeres' situation. And that shows you how important this is for Sporting Lisbon and why they need that money that he's calling in for. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel. João Pedro to Chelsea, here we go. And then we will conclude in here with a Pep Guardiola appreciation statement to the players of Man City. He says that ever since this season started, that is from, is it the 17th of August to the 29th of June, he has only seen his team play better in only one game. And I'm going to be telling you what that game is. So, this is the Rokani Media Football. Guys, continue to subscribe. And after subscribing, the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel. Now, let's go eyes. Now, the president first said, I'm not going to say what the price is. The player knows what it is. I can tell you that Viktor Gyokeres won't leave for 60 million euros plus 10 million euros. He won't. He just won't. Fortunately, we are past the stage of selling our main asset. So he's like, they're past the stage of selling their main asset. And if at all anyone is to come in for the player, he has to pay huge for this player. And he's talking of 70 million euros plus. And 70 million euros should be guaranteed fees. 60 plus 10 won't really see this guy leave the side of Sporting Lisbon. Now, you ask, who is fooling who? You know, the agent says, the agent, Hassan Sentinker, says they have an agreement that Gyokeres can leave for 60 plus 10 million euros. The president says he's not gonna leave for that price. So who is fooling who in all this? And we are just here to wait and see where this will obviously end. And he was like sending a clear message to Arsenal that this player won't leave for that fee. If you want the player, ask him. He knows the exact price he's supposed to leave Sporting Lisbon for. That's what Federico Varandas is really saying about this particular transfer. And I just love it. And I don't know where it's obviously going to be ending, but I think strikers are really expensive. And if it comes to a team calling in for 80 million euros for a player like Viktor Gyokeres, I think it's really, 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 really very, very, very reasonable in there. He also added and said, but we are still sensitive to the dreams of Viktor Gyokeres or any other player. Sporting has a compromise in which, after weeks of meeting, it's not asking the value of the clause. It's going to be reasonable. So he's like, they are not going to be asking the 100 million euro release clause. That's what Federico is saying, the president of Sporting Lisbon. He's like, they will ask for a fee that is really reasonable. But if you say 60 plus 10 is not reasonable, then what is the reasonable price that they're supposed to be paying? That is the most important bit of it all. So, we go on. He said, in the recent weeks, we've been keeping a close eye on things. I saw a player called Zubimendi, who is 6 months younger than Viktor Gyokeres, leave for 65 million euros. I saw Matthias Cunha go to Manchester United for 75 million euros. He added and said, we are talking about 26-year-old players. I believe Viktor Gyokeres can't leave unless he has the worst agent in the world, which I don't believe. He's one of the best players in the world. So he has also gone ahead to attack the agent that Viktor Gyokeres can't live for that less, unless otherwise he has one of the worst agents in the world. So he's also taking the ball to the agent, because the agent has been really firing, shooting at the president. The president is like, all right, I now have you, I'm gonna be shooting at you. You understand? So this is where we are right now, and it's all about the Sporting Lisbon saga. We don't know when it's really gonna be ending, but I tell you, this is continuing. Now he's talking about two players, Zubimendi and Cunha. Cunha left for 62.5, all 75 million euros, and Zubimendi left for 65 million euros. But I think there is something he's getting wrong. And what is he getting wrong? What is getting wrong is what they agreed on with the agent of Viktor Gyokeres, that is Sintinkaya Hassan. Because in his first statement, he said they agreed that at the age of 26, 27 years, no player has ever left the Portuguese league and he was paid for 80 to 100 million euros. That's what they agreed on. And he's talking about two players who come from two different leagues. You know, the Premier League is the best league in the world. That is known. And for Cunha to cross for 62.5 million pounds, that is not news. Or 75 million euros, because it's the Premier League, 26 years of age, I think 25, 26 years of age, and he has been performing in the Premier League. But going out of the Premier League to sign a player for 80 million euros, it's like you are really playing a lottery, whether it works on or not. You understand? But a Premier League proven player will obviously command for that price. So, talk of Zubimendi. I think La Liga is the second best league in the world. It being the second best league in the world calls up for a lot. And that a lot is him coming to the Premier League. 26 years of age, one of the best CDMs in the Spanish La Liga. And we've gone ahead to see players cross from the Spanish La Liga come to the Premier League for a lot of money. And this is what this guy should obviously understand. So, as it stands right now, we are waiting to see how things are really going to be happening. You understand? But Viktor Gyokeres to Arsenal will only happen, if at all, Viktor Gyokeres to the side of Arsenal will only happen if Arsenal pays 80 million euros. Now, is Arsenal really willing to pay 80 million euros? That is the huge question that you people are supposed to answer. Is Arsenal willing to pay 80 million euros? You know, that is it. If they're willing to pay 80 million euros, better. They'll obviously take the player. But this plays in favor of Manchester United, because as Arsenal delays, maybe Gyokeres will be like, if United comes and knocks on my door, I'm really going to be leaving for Man United. But I think Arsenal are well informed of the situation of Viktor Gyokeres, and they're really in good contact with the agent and Sporting Lisbon. I think that's it. From there, let's go to a player known as João Pedro. João Pedro is a Brazilian that I saw Brighton sign him from a side known as Watford. And it shows you the big scouting network for this side. The player, in 2 seasons, he has gone ahead to obviously try to play a lot. And guess what has gone ahead to happen? His price tag has increased a lot. You know, when you look at how much they paid for him from Watford to Brighton, it was 35 million pounds. You know, and if they really went ahead to buy him 35 million pounds, guess how much they've gone ahead to sell him to Chelsea? As Fabrizio Romano says, João Pedro to Chelsea, here we go. Agreement done club to club for fee in excess of 50 million pounds. In excess of 50 million pounds. João will travel on Tuesday for medical tests and contract signing, ready for FIFA Club World Cup. So, João Pedro will sign for the club of Chelsea. It's a here we go medical happening next week. That is on Tuesday. So for Brighton, they're going to have to make a profit of like 15 million pounds plus, and that is really a huge profit they're going to have to make as a side of Brighton, and you really give them kudos for how they're really conducting business. But for Chelsea, João Pedro comes in through to join Liam Delap. And João Pedro is a versatile player. I know why Chelsea has gone ahead to go in for him. Chelsea has gone in for him because the player is versatile. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a center forward. He can play as a left forward. He can play as a right forward. Meaning that their problems on the left attacking side of midfield are really going to be solved very soon, because I've gone ahead to see the manager playing with Madueke onto the left, something that is not obviously paying off results very easily and swiftly with Chelsea. So I know he's obviously going to be competing with Nicholas Jackson, Liam Delap, Nkunku, but I know he's going to be played mostly onto the left attacking side of the midfield, where Modric could have gone here to be playing, but he's suspended, and Jadon Sancho said, I won't take a pay cut. I won't need to stay at Chelsea. That is it. So, as it stands, the side of Chelsea have gotten in another signing. Remember yesterday we got a here we go of Gittens from Borussia Dortmund, and then they've gone ahead to bring in João Pedro. And I think them qualifying for the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup obviously was a big factor for them to really ignite this transfer, because they noted that they've gone ahead to get in more money. And I think if I don't go to the semi-finals, more will be really brought in. From that, João Pedro, another Brazilian who is obviously climbing up the ladder to Chelsea and is going to be playing the Champions League. Pep Guardiola, after Man City went ahead to beat Juventus, he said it's a long time since we made a performance like today with and without the ball and the players we are committed. We talked about what we have to improve to be who we were in the past, and happy to finish first against a top side that proved it in the past and recent games. That's what Pep Guardiola has gone ahead to come out and say. Then he said, we are waiting for who will be our opponent. And the opponent is known, that is Al Hilal. And Man City will obviously have to play next week, and we'll be knowing who they'll be facing in the quarter-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. But as things stand, they are looking the strongest side in the tournament. That is it. Because Juventus is not an easy nut to crack, but when you look at how they annihilated them with 5-2, I tell you what, it's really City being the best. And when you look at how the manager really played the team, he never really came up with his best players. Let no one lie to you. But he did what he had to do and went ahead to win that beautiful game of football. So, we wait to see how things pan out, but your thoughts on Gyokeres to Arsenal transfer ultimatum has been set by the president of Sporting Lisbon. What do you think about it? Who is playing a delay game? You know, who will win this at the end of it all? In the comment section, I call in for that. João Pedro to Chelsea, here we go. Tell me your thoughts about that. And lastly, I want to know what you think about Pep Guardiola. Do you think this is the best game City played when they beat Juventus by 5-2 in every aspect of the game ever since the season started? Because it says, with and without the ball, Man City really looked exquisite and top-notch, you know? So, he is referring to it as a vintage City, and I don't know what your thoughts are about it. I sign out for now. See you later, and we out.